This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio News 25. I'm Missy Kohler. Deanna O'Donnell has the evening off. Today is Friday, July 24th. Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly rollover crash that happened Thursday evening in Pahrump. 2 people were thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. Pahrump Valley Fire Chief Scott Lewis talks about his department's response and reminds everyone that seatbelts do save lives.
We were dispatched a report of a single vehicle rollover in the area of Gamebird and Simmons. As crews were responding, we received notification that this may have been potentially a fatal accident. As we arrived on location, we found the vehicle as described. It was well off the roadway. It was resting on its right side. We determined that there was no entrapment. However, we found 2 individuals who apparently were ejected during the rollover process. Both had not survived their injuries sustained during that mechanism. We immediately secured the area and turned it over to law enforcement for their investigation. They were still investigating as to what actually prompted or caused the accident. Simply stated, though, just reminding everybody to make sure they wear their seatbelts in case of such an accident happens like that.
Nevada Highway Patrol has not released the identities of those that were killed in the crash. Nye County is reporting 286 cases of COVID-19 positives today, with 14 new cases in Pahrump, 1 new case in Tonopah, and 1 in Smoky Valley. There is also a new antibody positive. Remember that the antibody positives do not count in the county's overall active total. If you feel the need to be tested for COVID, you can do so in Pahrump, Beatty, and Amargosa Valley by calling 702-234-5398 or email pahrump@serenitymentalhealth.org for an appointment. Antibody testing is also available. For testing in Tonopah, call 775-302-5800 or 775-482-9898 to set up an appointment. A Pahrump man is under arrest and facing several charges after authorities say he stabbed himself and battered his girlfriend during an incident at the couple's home.
Zachary Starcher is in the Nye County Detention Center where he's facing charges of domestic battery, false imprisonment, 2 counts of child abuse or neglect, intercept, interrupt, delay message via phone, and use or under the influence of a Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4 controlled substance. A roommate called 911 Tuesday afternoon after running from the home she shared with the couple. She said Starcher was stabbing himself with a knife while keeping his girlfriend and their 2 children in the residence. Arriving deputies say they observed several knives near Starcher. They say he was bleeding and yelling that he wanted to die if he was going to lose her. After waiving his rights, deputies say he told them he had recently used methamphetamine and he wanted to get clean. Starcher's girlfriend told deputies she told him she would leave him if he didn't stop using drugs. She says that's when he became enraged, grabbed her, and said he was going to kill himself. She went on to say she tried to get into her car with the children, but he took her out of the car by her feet and dragged her back into the house. She says she tried to call for help, but he wouldn't let her have the phone. That's when the roommate ran out and called 911. According to the arrest report, the couple's son told deputies it was normal for his father to go after his mother. He also confirmed his father would not let his mother use the phone or leave the house. The boy also stated to one officer, "Please, this time can you guys keep him for more than a day so he can get better, and please tell him I love him and want him to get better." Deputies say there have been 3 recent prior domestic calls and subsequent arrests involving Starcher dating April 28th, May 23rd, and June 24th.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office is helping veterans who've been incarcerated get back on their feet after their release from jail. Sheriff Sharon Worley explains how the new program works and what it means for the people they're helping.
The Veterans Administration, even though you are a vet and you are getting a benefit, it's not really a benefit. To me, you earned that. However, the way the VA looks at it, if you're incarcerated, they cut all that. So you lose that money. And then you have to, after you get out, you have to try to get those benefits back. And it's not only a monthly check, it's also your medical. I mean, you can't go to the VA hospital, that kind of thing. And so now we have a caseworker that is actually sitting in our jail that helps work with people to get those benefits back. And it's the same thing with Medicare, Medicaid.
When we come back, we'll have your business report for the day and also more news across Nevada. So
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. News 25, local news you can count on.
welcome back to News 25. Thank you for watching tonight. Millions of renters are in danger of losing their homes as relief efforts come to an end. The number of people filing for unemployment takes a jump, and consumer demand remains strong for everyday items like tissue and soap. Angela Miles has more.
Topping our news, 12 million renters around the nation are at risk of losing their homes. Many Americans have fallen behind on paying rent during the pandemic. The federal government protected people against evictions, but that ends Saturday unless Congress can quickly pass a rent relief bill. Some states put a ban on evictions, but those bans are set to expire next month, putting even more millions of renters at risk. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose for the first time since March. Up until now, that number had been slowly going down. 1.4 million people applied for claims last week. The number of Americans collecting benefits is now at 31.8 million. Americans are still stocking up on household goods and personal care items during the COVID crisis. Unilever and Kimberly-Clark both reported strong demand for items such as tissues and soap.
And with a look at other news stories making news across Nevada, here's Laura Don.
The Nevada census has reached a milestone with 61.5% in participation. This has surpassed the 2010 final statewide response rate. The U.S. self-response rate currently sits at 62.3%. Nevada is the third state in the country to meet its 2010 final response rate. Due to COVID-19 delays, deadlines for completing census forms has been pushed to October 31st, 2020. It's important Nevadans know that they can be counted without leaving home. Now easier than ever, Nevadans can complete the census through one of 3 safe, confidential, and quick ways from the comfort of their homes. Via phone 844-330-2020 or online at www.census.mv.gov, or you can even do it by mail. For every person counted, Nevada stands to receive $2,000 each year for 10 years, and that goes directly to help fund communities to stay healthy, safe, and educated. That's over $67 billion in federal funding over 10 years if everyone is counted. The state has had 580,000 total claims filed for standard unemployment insurance on the Unemployment Insurance of Nevada site. This number includes both new claims and reopened claims with intervening employment. 550,000 of those claims have been filed since March 14th. Of those eligible filers who filed weekly claims for unemployment in the week ending June 27th, 92% of eligible claims for that week was successfully paid. The numbers of weekly claims largely held steady from the prior week, down by just 1,000. 14,000 people filed for benefits but were employed and not eligible because they had earnings for the week greater than the weekly benefit amount, steady compared to last week. Finally, there are 18,000 other unpaid claims. These are filers whose claims are being held because federal and state law requires the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation to adjudicate their claims. This number also includes claims that have been identified as fraud. PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, for those individuals classified as contract, 1099, and gig workers are not otherwise covered under traditional unemployment insurance and have exhausted benefits and extensions. Filers must be unemployed, underemployed, unable to work, or unavailable for work in a particular week due to the COVID-19. To date, Nevada has taken 326,000 PUA initial claims. As of July 16th, 114,000 claims has been paid over $1.2 billion, including PUAs and FPUC funds. This is compared to Nevada's estimated 82,000 self-employed workers. Nevada has paid out nearly $4,900 per worker in regular PUA benefits alone. It's the 8th highest level among all states by this measure, and many people have inquired about PUA appeals functionality. Filers wishing to file an appeal may do so at Employ NV through your account portal. I'm Laura Don, and that's your news across Nevada.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, a new gun range in Pahrump? We'll tell you more. Stick around.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back, and thanks for being with us tonight. Item number 12 on the July 21st meeting agenda for the Nye County Board of Commissioners was a request for a conforming zone change. Khalif Gordon, owner of Second Amendment Guns, requested that the location at 1360 East Basin Avenue be changed from commercial zone to commercial manufacturing zone so that the building can be used as an indoor gun range and retail store. There was public testimony from 3 people, including Gordon, encouraging the commissioners to approve the rezoning. The commission voted unanimously to rezone the property and allow for the indoor shooting range.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Open the store and open the shooting range, please, sir. Thank you.
And in case you were wondering, that building used to house the Department of Motor Vehicles. Windows are responsible for keeping out the elements and keeping us safe in our homes. When the time comes that they are no longer functioning well, how do you decide whether to make repairs or replace them entirely? This week's Angie's List report explores both of those options.
As a homeowner, there will likely come a time when you will have to consider the question, should I repair that window or is it time to have it replaced? There are advantages to both, but there are a few key things to look for that may make replacement necessary instead of optional. According to Jason Rummel from the Window Source, one of the biggest factors to look for is water damage.
Sometimes windows rot from the inside. You don't even know it if they've got aluminum cladding on the outside. Looking for rot on the inside and outside of your home.
Talk to an expert to learn what options are viable for your home and your particular windows.
Before investing in new windows, you might first consider whether your windows could be repaired. Weather stripping, sealing, and even glazing can be done on existing windows. If you have damage to the wood trim around your windows, that's when you probably need to consider replacing.
One of the biggest benefits to repairing your windows is that it can be cost effective, but it's important to consider replacement too. Repairing a window that should really be replaced might not save you much money in the long run.
The advantages of doing a repair are mainly cost. It's usually less expensive, but you also have to weigh how much it is compared to doing new windows, because sometimes there's not that much of a difference.
In addition to being less cost effective than you may think, repairs are viewed by our experts as a short-term fix, and it's important to note that any updates still won't address the biggest potential improvement: energy efficiency.
One of the biggest benefits to replacing your windows is energy efficiency. According to the Department of Energy, inefficient windows can result in a 25% increase in your cooling and heating bills.
Before you decide to replace your windows, check for possible restrictions which might necessitate repairs instead.
If your home is protected by Historic Preservation District, before you replace your windows, be sure you understand the guidelines, because there might be rules as to whether you can replace, and if so, what type of windows need to be used.
Our experts concur. Do your research first or be prepared for the worst.
Don't go and do it without that approval, because they'll yank them out or make you yank them out, and if it's not the requirements that they do. So you definitely want to get an approval.
If replacing your windows is the right choice for you, it's a good time to get creative and consider different options.
This might be a great opportunity to change the design. Get something you've always wanted. Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you think about all the things that you can do, because a lot of people don't think about it that way. They think, I got to do windows. Well, my goal is to change that by the end to get people excited about it.
For more information on options for updating your windows, check angieslist.com.
It's Friday, which means it's time to meet another pet available for adoption. Today, we're at Never Forgotten Animal Society in Pahrump, where Crystal Mollison introduces us to Lion Blaze.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
This is Lion Blaze. He is about a little over a year old. He is a Flame Point Siamese mix. Beautiful color, blue eyes. Loves to play and loves to love. He has two attitudes, either play or love. And he is just a little over a year old. His brother's already been adopted, so he's a little lonely now. He came from a kill shelter, so we have rescued quite a few from that shelter, trying to help rehome them, and all of them but him so far has been rehomed. Come on in, you can see all of our kitties and kittens. Dogs are the only thing we need appointments for because they don't have room here for them, but all of our kitties are here on site. Come see them all. We are at 520 East Street, right at the corner of Wilson and East. Our phone number is 775-537-8674.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
I'll take you outside our studios now for a quick look of what's going on out there. Pretty beautiful. Just a few clouds in the sky right now. When we come back, Michael will have your full weekend weather forecast, and I think it's going to be a good one. Stick around.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 104 degrees, a low of 79, 111, a low of 81 in Death Valley, 100 degrees, a low of 68 in Amargosa, 95.63 in Beatty, 87.53 in Goldfield, 86.54 in Tonopah, 89 a low of 55 in Carson City, 96.60 in Fallon, and finally up in Furley, 92, their low is 61 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was 98 degrees. Winds out of south-southwest to 12 miles per hour, 10% humidity, and that sunrise at 5:45 this morning. Now for tonight, we're expecting clear skies. Our low is going to be 73 degrees. It is 98 outside currently with 9-mile-per-hour winds out of the east-southeast, humidity at 15%, and our sunset at 7:55 tonight. Now taking a look ahead to that 7-day, we do have some clouds rolling in on Sunday and Monday, but we're expecting sunny skies for the rest of the week. Now for those winds, pretty much all week long, we're going to be seeing those winds anywhere between 12 to 16 miles per hour. And just like we mentioned yesterday, our high temperatures are still going to continue to climb up through those triple digits. We're going to be seeing a high of 101 on Saturday. We're going to slowly work our way up to 107 by next Friday. Now for overnights, they're staying fairly consistent, just going to be anywhere around 75 to 77 degrees pretty much all week long. So now with that, we're going to throw it back to Missy with your entertainment this week.
Thank you, Michael, and it's good to have you back. Your entertainment report for this week, well, COVID-19 has kept many of us at home watching Netflix for quite some time now, longing for the return of entertainment to Nevada. The truth is, it's hard to judge when the shows and concerts will return. Right now, though, a big one scheduled for August is still on the books. Garth Brooks is still slated to perform at Allegiant Stadium on August 22nd. 65,000 tickets were sold in just over an hour on March 13th for the much-anticipated concert. But with cases of the virus continuing to increase, this show does still have the possibility of being rescheduled. So keep your fingers crossed. Well, attention boxing fans, did you see this one coming? Mike Tyson is jumping back into the ring. This 8-round exhibition fight is Tyson's first in 15 years. The heavyweight champion is set to face Roy Jones Jr. on September 12th at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Tyson, 54, and Jones, 51, will likely be wearing larger gloves but no protective headgear. The fight will be available on pay-per-view, and TMZ Sports will also produce a 10-part docuseries on both athletes as they prepare for the bout. And Taylor Swift fans, the 30-year-old singer has announced that she is releasing a new surprise album today. The album, titled Folklore, is the 8th studio album for the singer and features 16 songs and a bonus edition that includes a bonus track. Swift is also releasing a music video today for the track on the album called Cardigan. Swift was quoted as saying that the entire video shoot was overseen by a medical inspector. Everyone wore masks, stayed away from each other, and Swift did her own hair and makeup and her own styling for the video. Well, that is your entertainment report. In fact, that's your news for the week. We thank you so much for watching News 25 and hope that you have a very wonderful weekend. Stay safe.